What's going on, everyone? It's time for another film review. Today we're going to be talking about an old Disney Channel type film that was made for TV, called A Wrinkle in Time. Now, this is not the 2018 big blockbuster flop that came out, but this is the one that came out before that in 2004. So, A Wrinkle in Time was released by Disney May 10th, 2004, produced by Jordan Kerner, written by Susan Shilliday, and directed by John Kent Harrison, who's also done other films like Anne of Green Gables, Fire and Dew, and Anne of Green Gables, The Good Star, The Courageous Heart of Irina Sandler, A Bear Named Winnie, Christmas in Eonway. And anyways, yeah, so he's done quite a few like drama films and stuff. This is like an adventure drama film for families. So A Wrinkle in Time. Well, there's a family in your typical suburban USA, and your typical family, middle class family, where the parents are both like physicists and stuff like that, and they come across another dimension almost, and the father ends up going through and going missing. So, and it's up to like the wife trying to figure out what's going on. Meanwhile, this young introvert kid, who doesn't really talk to anyone outside of his family, him and his like older sister or stepsister, like have a bond, and they meet another kid who like stops some bullies from bullying him, and yeah, and they end up seeing like a face on the TV, and weird things start happening like that. And then they actually get in contact with three sort of like gypsy type girls, and yeah, one's like a witch, the other one's like a gypsy, and then the other one's just like a fairy godmother type thing. And they bring them to their world, which is a little bit different than Earth and stuff. And yeah, and they tell them about like the father, and they think they know what's going on, and then they go meet like the laughing some like laughing fortune teller in a cave, and then tells them where to go, and then they actually get transported, and that's up to them to find their dad and get them to safety. But yeah, it's about like sibling bonding and other things like that, working on relationships and getting over your fears and problems as kids and stuff that kids and families face. And yeah, it was a pretty interesting, fun little adventure film. It's a little different than what I usually watch. Um, yeah, the acting was actually pretty good in this. And I did like most of the cinematography wasn't that bad. The CG definitely doesn't hold up though. Looks like a PS2 or PS1 game. Pretty dated for these days, but it's still amusing to watch, and like watch them as they transform. You can tell it's just like a whole pile of filters over top of each other and stuff, and a lot of cheesy aspects of that made it more amusing, because like once you get to like where the dad is, it felt like a cheap version of Dune, and yeah, and then a really bland climactic scene in it. But yeah, for the most part, it was an amusing little adventure. It is 2 hours and 15 minutes, though. Oh, it was a little bit too long, I thought, and the pacing was not the greatest. It dragged quite a bit for most of it, but it did have some good, interesting scenes spread throughout. Some really funny, terrible scenes, some heartwarming moments and stuff. I know this made some people cry before that I talked to before I watched it and things, but it was definitely an interesting little family adventure type film with a lot of good meaning behind it. I think just for the time, it wasn't executed perfectly. They did what they could with the TV, being a TV movie and stuff, and the budget. They did the best they could, but it still comes out interesting. It's still decent, still better than a lot of the big budget crap that comes out now. But I definitely thought it wasn't that bad. Some people were saying this was terrible. The Neverending Story Part 3 is terrible. This is not that bad. This one I was actually pretty impressed with. The acting and stuff was overall okay. I just think the story and the characters need to be fleshed out quite a bit more. And but overall, it was a decent watch. Not too bad. It's a little slow, but yeah, with a little uninteresting characters, but overall it's still a fun little adventure film. So with that, I'm going to give A Wrinkle in Time, the 2004 TV version anyways, a 2.5 out of 5, right down the center. I didn't really love it, but I didn't really hate it, so I'm kind of like in the center for it. So yeah, if this sounds like something you're interested in, there's a trail link down below, like always. Also link down below is my Instagram, where I always post clips of films I'm going to review in the future on my story. There's a hide the film title and hashtag and subgenre film and a hashtag, so you're aware of it. And my Letterbox is down below. That's where I post my first day rating right after watching the films. So follow me on those two platforms to stay in the loop with this channel. Like this video, share it so more people are aware of it. Comment your opinions of the film down below if you have any. And if there's any other films, whether it's another family adventure film or any film, any genre, or film franchise that you want to hear my opinions on in the future, comment those down below too. I'll try my hardest to get to them as soon as I can and if I can find them. So yeah, but make sure you subscribe so we find something weird, obscure, and odd, somewhat like this film that you probably never thought of checking out together, or so you hear my opinions on popular films that are coming out, and cult classic films as well, and reviews on like shows and other things as well. So make sure you subscribe, and don't forget to ring that bell, because we got another family adventure film. This time it's not as magical, but yeah, there's a film called Into the West, which I have no idea what it's about, but I heard it's pretty amusing, so I'm probably going to check that one out next. So make sure you ring that bell, and yeah, watch out for all those weird fairy godmother type people looking after us from other dimensions popping up, and I guess I'll see you all in the next review. Hopefully it's somewhat as good as this, or maybe even a little better, but we'll see what the next one brings. So till then, cheers.